Hey, what's going on everyone? Mike here, and today we're doing the Q&A. I want to thank everyone that's been active on the videos. I really appreciate it. Keep asking questions. If you have questions about anything, post them. I love answering them so everyone can watch and learn every single video. And to all the people that have submitted questions, thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead and answer all the questions from last week's video. And like I said, if you have any more questions, just put it down below. Mason said, what is the quickest way to photograph your items and then have it added to your computer for eBay listings? Is there a way I can connect my DSLR to my computer as soon as I take a picture and it will appear on my computer? Hey Mason, there's really no camera unless it's very modern that has Wi-Fi connections, but there is a SD card you can buy. It is called the iFi card, and basically that connects through your Wi-Fi. As you take a photo, it will then transfer straight to your computer. I'll link it down below in case anyone's interested. It'll go through my affiliate link, so if you buy one, it supports the channel, and it is a really good product. I know a lot of people that use it. I've considered buying one myself. However, I don't list right after I take pictures usually. I take pictures way ahead of time. So if you're in the right situation, if you have someone helping you list, you can take photos and they could be listing at the computer while you're taking photos. So it's a really cool device, very simple, relatively cheap, between $40 and $85, and it has a good storage amount just like a normal SD card. Jacob said, I would like to see more visual examples of how you package for FBA. It would be easier to understand how to package things if we knew how they handled them at the warehouse. Yeah, Jacob, you're right. I'm going to have a visual, very good breakdown of how I package video games and different items for FBA very soon. I'm working on the biggest shipment I've ever worked on, so it's the perfect opportunity for me to record and show you guys what I'm doing here. And as far as how they will handle things at the warehouse, it varies drastically, but if they damage something after your items are checked in, they reimburse you. So you're in a pretty good situation with FBA usually. Casey Picker says, when I list a loose video game on FBA, should you find the listing that shows just the picture of the cartridge, or is it alright to list the cartridge in the listing that has a picture of the box as well, even though you don't have the original box? Yeah, Casey, you can list the cartridge only underneath a listing that has the box and the photo in that. One of the main issues is a lot of the video game listings were made a long time ago. They don't have very good stock images, and the whole idea is a mass majority of people are buying retro video games for the cartridge only. They could care less about the box for the most part unless they're collecting. And so it's fine to list the cartridge there. Just make sure you follow the condition guidelines, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And there's a lot of debate over this, so I'll open the comments to discussion on this. What do you guys think about it once we get into it in a little more detail here in a second? And the reason I said that is because Scott posted in the Facebook group today, and he said, sometimes I get annoyed when listing cartridge-only games and I see people advertising theirs as very good condition for the same thing when it clearly states that you need at least the owner's manual for a game to even be in good rating. Hey Scott, I'm not going to lie, I'm guilty of this myself, and the reason is because competition on Amazon stopped following the guidelines for condition. So now if you want to compete, a lot of times you kind of have to go along with what it's become. Amazon does not enforce these rules. I've never seen them push the issue here, and I think they could care less. Their website has morphed a lot over the last few years, especially with FBA. But the fact of the matter is, if I have a cartridge only, I typically pick the condition that matches that cartridge only. And the reason I do that is because most people are looking for just cartridge. Most people that are shopping at Amazon don't care about what the condition regulations say. They don't shop and say, oh, the condition regulation says very good has a manual in a box. They don't look at that. You're appealing to the general public of buyers here. And what they care about is if you have the cartridge only, what condition is it in? And I think that's more important to giving the buyer an accurate expectation than following what Amazon originally established. And really, if Amazon wanted to fix this, they would just reevaluate their condition settings. But the fact of the matter is, if you put a cartridge as acceptable and it's in very good condition, you're a lot less likely to sell it because the buyers that are looking for cartridge only aren't collectors. They're not looking that deep. They just want to know the cartridge is in good working order. And a lot of times, there's apps where people shop on Amazon, they don't see the description either. So that's a huge issue. With that being said, I do understand Amazon's policy. I understand what you're saying. I understand what other people are saying. But what do you do when the market's flooded? There's 300 video games listed and 150 of them didn't follow the Amazon's policy. Do you follow the policy and likely not sell your item? Or do you just do what everyone else is doing and have a much higher shot of selling your item? And this is under the impression that Amazon does not enforce these rules, because they do not. And I understand people are going to say, well, you can't just follow what everyone else is doing if it's wrong. That's true, except that'll only be applicable if Amazon enforced these conditions. Since they don't, the market has become what sellers have made it and what buyers are expecting. And for the most part, that is just whatever it is, even if it's a disc only, they're looking for the condition to reflect what that specific item has. Now, with all this stuff being said, I would love to hear what you guys think about this. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I completely understand the policies. I'm just saying from a competitive standpoint, you have to keep these things in mind, because you're trying to sell products here. You're not trying to be non-competitive all because of a policy that's not enforced. Now, I get that there's going to be different points of view here, so I want to hear them. And I'm not saying you should do one or the other. That's completely up to you. I don't care what you do. I just know from my standpoint, buying video games and selling them on Amazon, most people just match the condition with like cartridge only, and then completes will be in collectible or way down at the bottom, you know, with a much higher price. David said, I like to list on Amazon from the seller app, works fine with merchant fulfilled, but when I create a new shipment, each FBA item has its own list. Any suggestions? Hey David, I don't use the app to list my items, so I can't really suggest on how to fix this problem one-on-one. Maybe one of the viewers will know and they can help you better than I can. I do know Scan Power has the ability to list, and I know quite a few people that use it. I know Andrew uses it to list all of his books, I believe he's told me, and he said it's pretty streamlined. Their service is pretty pricey, so I'm not going to go ahead and push that down anyone's throat. I haven't used it. I'm not going to vouch for it. I just know they have the capability to list from the mobile and quickly. Nikki says, what systems did you have in place in your first videos when you input expenses and profits? Hey Nikki, none of those are really relevant anymore. I mean, I used to use an Excel system with paper invoices I had and I wrote on and all that. Now I use PHP Point of Sale. If you guys are interested in checking that out, you can go to phppointofsale.com. They're not sponsoring me or anything. I've used their software for quite a few years now. I love it. It's an actual affordable point of sale program, and it completely streamlined my system. I spend only a couple hours a year to do my taxes now, and it's phenomenal. The system's so simple and straightforward. April says, what the fuck? So you're telling people you need to just make sure your stuff gets to Amazon safely, but not packaging it properly? Facepalm. Well, April, the only facepalm here is your shitty comment, because clearly you don't know the policies and you don't understand what fulfillment means. Now, let me fill you in here. It kind of makes no sense to package every single item to make it from you safely to Amazon, then from Amazon to the customer. Reason being, you're paying Amazon to fulfill your products. Now, fulfillment means that they do all the work. So if you're doing all this extra work, you're basically doing 90% of the process. At this point, you might as well just sell the item yourself and ship it out. Otherwise, it defeats the whole purpose, makes the whole system not streamlined, and costs you more money in shipping supplies. If you can't understand that, that's facepalm. Alright everyone, well thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave questions for next week, put them down in the description. If you want to support the channel, there's an Amazon affiliate link down below. You can subscribe, watch all my other videos. I have great Amazon walkthroughs, eBay walkthroughs, all that kind of stuff to get you started on the line. I appreciate all the support. As always, from the bottom of my heart, I'll see you guys very soon. A ton of videos are being worked on this week, so stay tuned.